morning. Figured I'd do a weather report. I saw that Jeff was live, but it kept looping the same clip over and over, so I don't know if he was on the phone or what, so I figured I'd just go live. Not to mean to step on you, Jeff, but usually you get a lot of phone calls this morning, or this time in the morning, and it's tough to do a live feed. As busy as you are. So we got our coffee. And traffic's gonna suck today. Ratman, I've been thinking about you a lot today, or yesterday. I realized I hadn't really watched any of your vlogs since you got in the big truck. And as predicted, man, you're doing very well in the footage. I just... And I'm glad that vlog style does very well for you, because whenever I do that vlog style, I don't get the views. Of course, I'm not going to blame it on the equipment. I'm using shoddy equipment. I could invest in that. But being able to take those clips from the back of the truck, and showing the loading, that's pretty cool. You can't get away with a lot of that in the dry van. So, but I really appreciate I think what your place, Ratman, is that, obviously you're not going to, that's one that I'll watch while I'm eating dinner, sitting down, in the truck, and because your videos are long, and I'm glad that you get the views that you do, because most time long vlogs don't do very well. But I think like you and Indiana Jack, I think you do very well because of the angles you get and the editing and stuff. So you should call me sometime. Is Jeff still alive? Oh, my phone's gonna wake up here too, but I fully anticipate the broker calling me. There we go. Broker calling me. What was that? Anyways, let's do some shout outs. Now, if traffic's gonna suck today, you're either got to go through Dallas or Houston, or you're going somewhere where the president's at. Is that what's going on? So, Buck Fiden, what's up? Jonathan Wheeler, Grafton, boom. Grafton, is Jeff still live over there? John Reynoldson, why does that name sound familiar? How you doing? I like Ratman Roden, GNC Family Trucking. Guys, if you haven't seen Ratman Roden's channel, go check it out. Especially if you want to learn, flatbedding. He shows everything, right? He's not teaching you. He's just kind of doing his thing. And apparently, I'm not the only one who's got lost on some lonely roads there, Ratman. So, John Armstrong, good morning. Big Houston, TK, Thomas Wilson, good morning. Dallas, Oklahoma City, and then Phoenix. Yeah, Oklahoma City's been kind of a bear here lately. You got that stretch of 35 just south of Oklahoma City. Is that still all messed up? It's been a minute since I've been down there. Seemed like I was down there every day or every week, and now it's like I haven't done an Ardmore load in forever. How I just did a Texas load last week. It was last month. It was literally out and back. Really good rate. Good weekend run. It was a $4,000 weekend run. It was great. It was a good run, and I didn't have to go through Dallas. So that was no, actually I did. I did have to go through Dallas, did I? Yeah. But I cut my teeth in Dallas, right? And, when I was being trained, I was in the short haul fleet, the trainer was, and we were in and out of Dallas all the time. So majority of my big city driving was Dallas, St. Louis, and Kansas City. It wasn't until I started on my own that I hit other cities like Phoenix and Memphis and I guess Little Rock, but you know, Little Rock's not too bad. You know, of course, all the Northeast stuff. So Grafton, yeah, he's still alive. Is he still doing that video loop thing? Yeah, it's still messed up. Drove there a week ago. Pneumatic Brick, good morning. Yeah, so I mean, there's some dark, ominous clouds coming up. I guess it's supposed to rain all day around here, so I'm going to be in the rain all day. I've got, my rates have come down a little bit on the normal stuff I've been doing, and man, my fuel costs have gone way up because, number one, I'm doing 90% heavy loads now, and number two, well, fuel's up. I think, what's fuel right here? 345 where I'm at, and just last month it was at 3, so 318 I think. So yeah, it's now I'm sure you guys run in Northeast or Southwest are like, that ain't nothing, you know. I know that Ohio it's hit 4, Indiana it's hit 4. Thomas Wilson can let us know on that. It is it windy enough for you yet, Ryan? I can feel the truck shaking. Now, I had a headwind the entire trip south from Kansas City, and so my fuel mileage was crap. But I got good fuel mileage going up because I was empty and heading north, and so I had a good tailwind. But coming back, man, it was a double whammy. I've been having some fuel issues too. My fuel filters are getting clogged pretty quickly. I've been trying to buy different fuel in different spots, but I'll probably deal with an algae issue. So my fuel mileage. And then I got high resistance tires. That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that tires make a huge point of fuel mileage. And perfect example is when I bought this truck, they had put a new set of Generals on there, and they had a lot of rolling resistance. And so while I was getting better fuel mileage than my Peterbilt, it still wasn't great. So my IFTA report, which, you know, IFTA reports are kind of skewed anyways, that was explained to me today. But anyways, so I noticed I wasn't getting as high as I thought I would. But I noticed that year after year, it got better. Quarter after quarter, it got better. And that's because the tires were wearing down. Of course, last year, the tires were at their lowest. And that was when I had the best fuel mileage. Well, of course, I put new tires on this year. Fuel mileage went to crap. So, Dice Man going live. What's up? Indiana, Ohio, New York, around 405, PA 425. My fuel surcharge is awesome. Yeah, it's different in the spot, Thomas. I mean, you know, most brokers don't break down the fuel surcharge, but if they do, and your company's contract is set up that way, you know, that's a, you know, that helps, I guess. But I just look at the overall revenue, and then, you know, hopefully you get a good discount. So kill him, Steve. Kill him. Order on Amazon, thebomb.com for algae. It's dangerous stuff. Look, my fear with putting some algae treatment in the tanks right now is I know that you got to go through filters like in the very beginning, and I need to check with Kenworth to make sure I can buy another batch of filters, so I'm not shorting myself, because I've heard that there's a filter issue. But but it goes that I heard this, I heard that kind of thing. So the next time I get a chance, I will go down to Kenworth, buy another, I don't know, huge set of filters, and then get to work on that. So I do know that a friend of mine, he gets fuel a lot at the Joplin Petro, and he has a lot of issues with their fuel. So I stopped fueling there, even though I get a pretty good discount. So I've been fueling in different places, and it's been a little bit better, but I don't know, it's just, you never know. Quality of fuel changes, and we're getting ready to go into the winter blend. So those of you new to driving watching this channel know that the winter blend, you're going to get less fuel mileage anyways. That's just a fact. That's just how it is. And so that's going to kind of suck. And then there's one truck stop I get fuel at that I don't, because their winter blend really clogs the filters. So, but yeah, we definitely need to take care of that, Thomas. I agree. So every 5,000 miles, Palmer Kenworth got a shipment of filters. I bought 5 sets of fuel and oil, so I'm good. Good deal. I probably need to do the same. Because I don't know what the manufacturing process is with filters. I don't know if that's sitting on a boat or if that's made here or what. So I have extra filters in the truck. That's a good idea, John. I mean, it's especially when wintertime comes up, and that's definitely a plus. And if you could change them yourself, that's even better. I have not acquired that skill yet. Everybody that said that they want to help me don't really come through here. So, and I know it's easy to do it myself, but my bowl sits upside down and everybody else's sits on top. So it's I don't know, that seems to change people's, like, oh man, I don't know, that might be, so it's kind of, I want to learn. I definitely want to learn. So if you don't address that algae quickly, it'll damage your fuel system. Yeah, I'm going to address it, Thomas. I will. Yeah, the bowl literally sits like, I mean, I could show you guys if, well, no, I'm not going to show you. The problem with the bowl upside down is that if you get air in the system, and it seems like every time Kenworth has changed the fuel filters on this truck, which I get done every it seems like once a month here lately. I've had to change the primer pump. I've had to change a couple other things out. I can't remember what they were. And so changing fuel filters has been pretty expensive for me, because things are going out. It's a 6-year-old truck. There's a lot of things that are starting to happen mechanically, and I don't really run my fuel low if I can help it, because that really hammers the injectors. So, but skill, hell, I pay someone, is so much easier. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the concept I have, but if my stuff gels up at home, I want to be able to change it out, so there are 2 unit degrees. It does. Smoke, what's up? Truck for life, good morning. How's the Landstar life there treating you there, John? Hope you're doing well. Eddie, what's up? I saw you sneak in here. One more load going to Wisconsin, and I'm going back south until next year. There you go. Where do you live at, Britt? I mean, you don't have to say specifically. Do you live south? I'm at 10 km fuel filter, and it's full of algae. I just treated the fuel again. I think a lot of it's this fuel. I mean, hey TJ, what's up? Shannon, did I see you sneaking here too? No. Thought I did. I thought I saw another member. I appreciate the members, guys. For some reason, I have to fix it, but I can't manipulate the live feed replays to be, some I want members only, some I don't, and so you'll have to forgive me until I can get that fixed. Lawrenceville, Georgia, near Atlanta. Okay, that's a good spot. Call service truck. Yeah, but then you're paying what, $300 for the service call? So, but I guess that's better than nothing, right? There's a really good mobile guy that a friend of mine that's PACCAR specific that he's hooked me up with. So we'll have to probably utilize him this winter. But this winter I should do a little bit better than last winter, because last winter I was dealing with some stuff, family issues, and so there was that polar vortex everybody had to deal with. I just sat at home because at one point I had one small window of time to get out of there, and it was gone because of the family issues I was dealing with. And it was probably a blessing because I had to deal with the other house and the pipes and all that, so you got to take the good with the bad, right? And I lost quite a bit of time because of that, but hopefully this winter I can keep running. I too like to run south, but look, paying attention to the Weather Channel is key, right? Or Weather Nation. I prefer Weather Nation. You can get Weather Nation app on your phone. It'll literally do a video play-by of what their broadcast is, and then you have the live broadcast that you can do too. So, did you know with the JB Hunt Tire Pass, your service calls are less than $75? I think mine was $65. If you're getting tires, like road call and the tires, our trucks are almost 8 years old, late 2013 build. Can't believe how long I've been running it. That's true, TK. TK has the dark twin of what I have. You've put a lot more miles and you make your truck work a lot harder than I do. I know you've had to dump a lot of money here lately. I don't do any work on truck anymore. I just let dealership do it and write off taxes. Well, I've definitely got that. I've definitely got that on this year there, Thomas. It'll be interesting. Freshen up the coffee there. We have an open window delivery, and I got to time it just right for my next load. I'm booked ahead. I'm starting to, you guys want a spot market report. Here's your spot market report, for me at least. I'm noticing that I'm having to book a little bit further ahead if I want to do the stuff I want to do. I notice rates have come down just a hair, because volumes have come down just a hair. And something that you guys will have to realize if you book your own freight with brokers is that when volume drops, the brokers know that the volume drops. So what they do is they lower the rates. And so they want to get to the people that book ahead, because it's more stressful, to me at least, to book at the last minute when volumes are down. Now, when volumes are up, I love it. I love booking at the last minute because you get the maximum rate. But when you book ahead, you probably leave some money on the table. But you leave a lot of money on the table if you lose the day because you didn't quite get that home run at the end of the day. So that's something that, if I have to give any spot market tips, when volumes drop, it's better to book ahead a little bit, because what's left at the end of the day is the stuff that either nobody else wanted to do, or you might get lucky with that last minute cancellation and the guy's got to cover it, but those odds are pretty against you. If you are left with nothing but the crap, the reasons that it's still there is because either the rate's too low, or it's like a overnight drive, or it's a really bad customer that no one likes going into. And so, and if you've already started your clock, it's you end up missing a day. There seems to always be a day that I miss if I'm running the short game all week, because I held out too long. So, or I held out for that $50 and end up losing the whole day. So, this was a good year. Yes, mine was for steer tire. Electric trucks will solve all those winter diesel issues, right? Because batteries work great in freezing temps. Fiden, to me, electric trucks are going to be a snake oil, because the infrastructure doesn't exist to charge them yet. I mean, you have the Tesla chargers here and there, and you're right. Batteries are going. Electric vehicles are going to fail in the upper extreme, north. Remember when they, like, I think JB Hunt, and I still think they still have them, they had those alternative fuel trucks, and you thought that was going to be the next rage, and it wasn't. The infrastructure does not exist for electric trucks to really kind of take over. And then real world problems, they're not even testing them yet. I mean, I've yet to see one make a delivery. I've yet to see a bunch of day cabs, running that stuff. And then the cost, and then the mechanics to work on them, because they're still going to fail. I mean, it's a machine, it's computers, right? TK, it's been bad lately. Right now I have a power steering issue and need an inlet knock sensor. Thomas Ronald Reagan Parkway is about half a mile from me. There you go. TK, is it a PACCAR? Yes, he does. Talk about pizza. $824,000. I wouldn't be able to use electric trucks on tanker because of the flammable hazmats and refineries. Yeah, that's another issue. You guys remember when Willie Nelson built that truck stop out there in Texas? It's now Petro, but he did the biodiesel thing, and he thought it was going to be the next thing, and he made a very good argument about it on, I think, that Big Rig movie, I think. The problem is that biodiesel is gels real easily, has to have a lot of additives for it to work correctly, and you went to Carl's Corner, and it was kind of sad, because here's a guy that's done a lot of active work, helping local farms and helping the community, and all of his stuff in there, all the trinkets and everything were all Chinese, origin, and there was nothing really local about it. And so between that, and nobody was buying that fuel. I mean, you went in there and there's like 15 fuel islands and not one truck in there. There was free vacuums. I enjoyed those, but it was a shame. But I knew when it went down, it was, that it was going to happen. Now it's a Petro, and it's a nicer Petro, but it seems like they can't get the alternative fuel thing going. And this ultra low sulfur diesel, it's different. It's different. And so you have to have all these additives, which that makes people money. It makes people profits. So the current batteries lose 30% cold weather. That is massive in the trucking world. Yep. And then the other thing is, how are you going to stay warm? If you're in a sleeper truck that's battery operated in the wintertime, how are you going to stay warm? You're not idling the truck. And so you're going to use more battery juice trying to run an APU or EPU. So I I don't see how it's going to happen. Now, maybe I'm clueless. Maybe I don't know, but you look at practicality, and it's just, until it becomes practical, it's not going to become the new norm. So, Shannon, good morning. Nor should you, Fiden. Nor should you. Willie was growing more than corn in that field behind the truck stop, probably. You're lucky they're available right now. There were 68 Kenworths down for knock sensors with me. Yeah, it's Europe is testing overhead power lines on one lane for 2 to 4 miles to charge electric trucks as they move. Interesting technology. I mean, that technology was there before. You know, they had, look at old streetcars. But the problem is that there's too many variables. You know what I mean? But again, it doesn't answer the question, how do you stay warm if it's cold? Think about all the power this truck uses. You're charging your phone, you got the heater going, defroster or whatever. You've got your GPS, you've got your tablet, or your e-log or whatever. You have wiper blades, you have headlights. I mean, the alternators on these trucks work very hard, and it's not easy keeping a cab this size warm, right? And day cab might be a little bit different, but there's, you got 84-inch sleepers that need heat. And then what if you have a team? Can you team an electric truck? No, because it's going to need time to charge. So I just don't see how it's going to be practical. I wonder the weight on those trucks compared to current rigs. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. And so let's say they're about 10,000 pounds lighter. Maybe not that much. I mean, you'll have less the weight of fuel, but let's say they're considerably lighter. Well, now these trucks can haul 48,000, 50,000 pounds loads, and so that's more power it's going to need, right? It's going to be more of a load, and then you got to go up to shipper and say, well, it's a diesel truck, so you don't need to be putting 50 grand on me, right? So there's a lot of things coming down the line that just really just kind of make me shake my head and wonder what the future of this industry is going to look like, Like, is it going to be worth it to try to build a 20, 30, 40 truck company with all the regulations and the mandates and everything else? It's just kind of, it's definitely making things interesting, that's for sure. Sage, what's up? Steve, if you had put Michelin steers and drives, you would not have rolling resistance problem. That's true, Thomas. I've used Michelin steers, and I just used the tires that were on the truck originally, the brand new ones, and Michelins were not available where I was at. So Tesla semi is lighter than average semi is. That's what we were told when we worked there. Until they get a functioning solid state battery, electric trucks will be on the outside looking in. That's true. We have heat and transit loads in the north, but you're supposed to idle your truck 24 hours to keep tank warm. That's another reason why I leave the north when the cold arrives. Yeah, because all your profits go up in the idle, right? And so there's that aspect too. And wouldn't it be kind of redundant if you have an electric truck hauling a diesel reefer? I think that if you wanted to have anything electric, I would think that reefer units would be first, because then you'd have to charge those too. So the truck could probably charge it, maybe, I don't know, but And see, people think about small details like that. You know, everybody's talking about all the backups and the ports and everything, and they're just making assumptions, and they're not even there. They're not, you know, a lot of people that aren't drivers in my circle love talking to me because I give them a perspective that they didn't even think about because they just believe everything that the media tells them. The farther packages have bigger batteries and heavy electric motor on each wheel. I wonder weight be the same or more. That's a good point. And the Tesla Semi can move quickly. Amazing quick truck like a large Corvette. Now let's talk about that, John. And look, I used to be a forklift operator, and so I know the difference between a gas and electric. The electric forklifts, boom, they take off, man. They're like almost too much, right? And so when you apply that to the truck, when you take off suddenly and your load shifts in the back, those straps can only hold so much, right? So that force from taking off that quickly, what's up, Smooth? I mean, you're gonna have a lot of load shifting if you're driving like zippity doo-dah, right? And you know, so any sudden break, any sudden jerk, any sudden movement is bad on the freight. I mean, you flatbedders know that, right? Just because you got these thin walls about that thick on the side of your trailer doesn't mean that that can't happen in your truck, in your trailer, right? And you know, I'll give you a perfect example. So I've got a story for you. So when I was at Transland, we used to pull beer out of Fort Worth, out of Miller Coors all the time. And so a friend of mine and I were running back to Springfield. I had a beer load. Now, the way Miller Coors does it in Fort Worth is that you have to create a bulkhead. And so you can either buy their $10 wooden contraption, or you had to put straps, 2 straps, usually you did it crisscross, 10 feet from the nose of the trailer, because the idea was to center it in the middle of the trailer. And so I did that. I did the cross straps, and you know, got loaded, did 2 more straps on the back. You had to have 4 straps. They have this huge shield thing that they put on the back, and it's supposed to be all nice, and they put a shield thing in the front, and away you go. You scale it out. You always put it in the same spot, always scaled good. You're good to go, right? So a friend of mine were running up to Springfield, and at that light in Durant, Oklahoma, almost said Durant, that would have been dumb. At the casino there was a cop on the opposite direction sitting at a light, and the car that was beside me decided he was going to get in front of me and run the red light. Well, and I was already braking a little bit, and he saw the cop. Instead of running the light, he slammed on his brakes, and I had to hit the brakes. I didn't get a hard brake event, but I felt that load shift forward, and next thing you know, my gauges went my air gauge in the front. So I had to take an alternative route because of good old Joplin, Missouri, and because I was definitely over on the drives at that point. And what had happened was just the braking force, that wasn't even a hard brake, broke not the strap in the front, but it broke the metal piece. Not even break it, it just didn't hold. And that's the thing. Those straps are only as good as the holders that they're in. And so when I got to Transland, I had to cross dock. We had to stay at the dock that we had at the yard, and I had basically the whole load slid forward, and the last pallet fell, and I had to restack it, throw away the bad beers, and then go deliver it inside town. But But yeah, I mean, it's sudden movements, and that wasn't even really that sudden. So imagine if I had disc brakes and I was able to hit brake harder. That, and I've had that's twice that's happened to me. And it's not even, and I'm not even really a harsh braker. The other day I got on the CB because it was going through Springfield, Missouri yesterday. This was Springfield, Missouri. It turned 60 miles per hour, and the bears always watch that stretch. That's how they get majority of the drug deals gone bad, or the drug runners get busted because of that 60 mile per hour zone. And the DOT loves sitting out there because of that zone. And yesterday there was two sitting in the middle, and I knew that they were there because I just passed them before. I was going west, and I had my cruise set at 60 miles an hour because, I'm the safety guy, I don't speed. And this truck, whoa, and he gets in front of me and then slams on the brakes because he sees the cops. Well, what does my collision mitigation do? It dings. I'm surprised I didn't get an event on the ELD. And I got on the CB and yelled at the dude, right? I mean, because normally I don't do that, but it ticked me off. And of course, he was not of this country, and he probably didn't have a CB on. But then someone yelled at me saying, "Wah," right? And he goes, "You shouldn't have been tailgating." I'm like, dude, I am the least tailgating person I know. I mean, I explained the situation. The guy shut up, and it's look, if you're going down a stretch of road and you have to slam on your brakes when you see a cop, it is already too late. They're going to get you, right? And luckily, this guy didn't get pulled over, but it would have been nice karma. I was looking for it, but anyways, so and that's sudden movements that are beyond your control. And it's usually a car cutting you off, or doing something stupid, and that causes you to lose control because you suddenly jerk the wheel left, or you're forced to move right, or something like that. So best range I've seen on an electric car is 350 miles, next to useless outside of a commuter car, right? It's very controllable speed. It was bobtailing when he drove around the Gigafactory for a demonstration. Yeah, and Nicola, what wasn't, like, aren't they like being investigated for fraud or something on the electric trucks? Gotta go, Steve. Offloading here in Montgomery. Steve, I'll say safe and make the money. All right, Britt, have a good day. Be well. His karma catch up to him, mine did. Look, there was one time where I was making a delivery of Coca-Cola, and this dude came in, his load had shifted, and the receiver literally said, "Well, you shouldn't have been," said, "You got to wait till we can restack it." And the guy was getting irritated because it was taking so long to unload. He's like, "Dude, you dumped the load, you shifted it, And clover leafs are a bitch. You should be no faster than 7th gear if you're on a 10 speed on a clover leaf. If you're in an auto, just slow down. And I think that's part of the problem is automated transmissions. To me, now that's just me being an old school dude, I would think that you would have more trouble gauging your speed. Like, I know when I hit certain, like cloverleaf, or I hit certain things, I'm in a certain gear every single time. And I can downshift a gear, use that to slow me down. So I would think that automated trucks go through brakes more. But that's just me. I could be an idiot. Who knows? That's my impression, though. I love when people see a cop and slow down and slam on the brakes when they're not even going over the speed limit. That's the other thing. It's like a natural reaction, right? New cars coming, say 1,000-mile distance. Nikola truck was 100% fake. Jail for the head of that place. What's the good app to check for bad weather? I'm going to head to California. Thank you. Chuck for Life, Weather Nation is. They'll give you Weather Nation is the Weather Channel's like competitor, right? But Weather Nation doesn't do all the special shows. They're not the CNN of weather, right? Weather Nation, and then I use my radar app for the radar stuff because it'll tell you wind, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Watches, there's different layers. It's a great app. And then another one I use is Weather Radar Widget, and it looks like that. Oh, there's spilled coffee. Crap. I'm done. Hold on. Stupid weather app. See what you made me do, John? Made me spill my coffee. Let's all blame John. All right. We're back. We're back. But this won't give you forecasts. This just give you current radar, and that's what I'm looking at today. So, all the way from the coast of Corpus Christi to, well, all the way to Canada. That's a big line. So, if you're east of that, it might rain soon. So, but I do use Weather Nation. Does Snyder Tinker pay the same as Snyder Dryman? I don't know, Kenny. You would have to ask Britt when he was in here. 5th and Cloverleaf, I drive like Lowly. Look, some Cloverleafs I'm down that low, but I'm usually no more than, it just depends. Good morning, G-Star. Greetings from Groveport on my way to Springfield Mo, paying big bucks. Good deal. Tornado warning in Houston. John Kirkpatrick, good morning. But I know, Thomas, you'll have to forgive me. I'll do my 15 Hail Marys. How's the Hunter's Ed going? Hunter's Ed is done. I got my certification last week. It was a pretty long course too. It was all done online, and Missouri makes it pretty easy. But it was good. I was glad to have taken it. I mean, I can see where they don't want people out prancing out in the woods, all just willy-nilly. So it was a good course. I learned a lot. I really did. My dad did some hunting when I was a kid, but he never took me with him. We went fishing a lot, but a lot of the skills that he's taught me, I've kind of forgotten. But hunting was something that was never passed on to me, and to the point that when my dad passed away, I sold all of his guns except for one, because I had no intentions of hunting or getting into that world. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, one of my friends that bought one of those guns, he actually gave it back to me. He said, "Here, this is your dad's. I mean, here, because he knew I was getting into guns again." And so now I do regret getting rid of all those, because he had some good rifles. But I didn't know a thing about them, you know. Bob G, what's up? Thomas, we'll be right back. Do you need seals on flatbed like on Drymans? Depends on if you're hauling tanks. Public lands meat is my favorite. Drive weather app is a good one, says Daryl. Like I said, I'm going hunting for not the first time, for the second time next month. We're going to, Big Rig CEO and I are gonna get the rifle zeroed in that I bought. We're gonna do that on Sunday. You know, maybe get a little bit of training, and then we'll see what happens. With the cost of beef and pork rising, venison will be nice. Yeah, I agree. I was at Walmart yesterday buying some food for the truck, and hell of a time to be carnivore, right? It's definitely expensive, and you know, and sometimes I think I've had trouble. I'll be honest, I've had trouble sticking with the whole carnivore thing because I'm kind of sick of hamburger, to be honest with you. You can only dress up a hamburger so many ways, and it's just, you know, and so I'll treat myself to a steak on occasion. This week I got a couple of steak burgers, I got a couple of small steaks, a couple of pork chops, and a couple of and a roast, small pork roast. So, your crypto mentor, John, is that SoCal or James Best? But every strap needs a seal, right? Why don't you like carnivals? They are fun. No, they're not. No, Jesse, didn't miss anything good. Unless you process yourself, cost that's going up too, right? I noticed that as well. I was told what to expect. Look, I'm hunting for the sport. It's a new hobby I want to get into, but I also want to learn how to put meat on the table if things ever get kind of bad, right? I want to learn how to do all that stuff. Now, like I said, my dad never taught me that. I was too young when we were hunting. Then by the time we lived in Arizona, we didn't do any hunting there. And now when we moved to Missouri, he did a little bit of hunting, but he didn't really know anybody, so he didn't know where to go, what to do. So, you know, there's you know, finally when we had land in the family to hunt on, my dad wasn't very successful because he was under practice as well, didn't know anybody. And that's the thing, to learn how to do anything, whether it's hunting or fishing or any of that kind of stuff, you want to go with someone that knows what they're doing. And so come November, I'm going to be the dumbest person in the room learning how to hunt with some really good people that know what they're doing. Bearded Butchers on YouTube do step-by-step process videos. Overtax, Minnesota? I'm gonna send me a link to one of their videos if you don't mind. I would appreciate that. I just bought a whole pig last week from a farm, pick it up from a butcher in a week or so. You need a big freezer and buy local. I bought half a beef, $3.35 a pound, cut, wrapped, and frozen. That's what we're working on. We have the freezer. I have a connection lined up, and I have people wanting to go in on a cow. So that is the next phase. We've already started that. I've hit some meat sales, and you know, and it seems like right now it's only Walmart that seems to have the higher priced meat. some of the other places aren't as like high on it. Now I have noticed, and look, it's a manipulation of the market as well, because I have noticed that fake meat stuff is literally like packaged right next to the real meat, and it looks horrible. It's like, but they're wanting you to go, wow, this is $3 and this is $20. And when you read the ingredients to any fake meat product, it's the same ingredients as stuff that's meant for kids, or not kids, pets. So thank you, Dave. You need, already read that. Have your venison mix 80-20 pork scrap, it will be okay. Did James buy that W9? I have no idea. I've not heard. He was supposed to go live. I haven't heard if he did or not. I was going to text him earlier, see if he did, but I kind of forgot about it. If you end up making $7,000 a month in the future on YouTube, will you quit trucking? Yes, I will. I have some exit plans when it comes to the truck. I love trucking, but like any other small business, it's getting a little bit harder to maintain and do well without having massive amounts of debt. And you can have a brick and mortar business that doesn't have any profit for a year and still not be as upside down as a bad month in trucking. That's the amount of, especially when it comes to debt. That's the amount of debt that's acquired through owning a trucking business. And to me, as I get older, I want no debt at all. Like, I can't wait to get the houses paid off. Because while I do think that credit is important, it's definitely important if you want to run a business at all, any kind. It can also make you a slave. And you have a lot of people that have spent way too much money on this equipment that's not going to last. We'll use TK as an example, okay? TK bought his truck just a little bit before I did. He's put a lot of miles on it. Now imagine he sells that truck for 60 grand with all the issues that it has and all the money it's cost him. But now it would have a truck payment tagged onto that. I know people that are so upside down in a truck, and they just keep getting in more and more debt in the truck, so they're paying on a $60,000 to $80,000 debt note on a $15,000 truck. That doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know. I would just go do something else at that point. And then you have people that will let a truck get bad, let it get repossessed, but they buy another truck before the repossession officially happens. And then they run that for a few years and they rinse and repeat. I know people that do that. And to me, it's not sustainable. I hate the debt that I have on this trailer, and it's not much. They go about 10 grand on it. If you end up making, okay, I read that. What do they do to our food is ridiculous. Yes, Jesse, that is absolutely true. Learning the areas you plan to hunt is key. Food source, bedding areas, when they hunt, when they rut, mating is key to successful hunt. And fighting that is absolutely true. And that's the issue that my dad had, is he didn't know anybody to know all that stuff. I've got a really good circle of friends that are willing to take me and show me, and I can learn from them. And that's even the hunter's course will tell you to do that. They'll say, hey, just don't go out in the woods by yourself one day and hope for the best. Learn from other more experienced people. And so if you don't know anybody, maybe spend the money for a guide. That would be something. I hope this thing holds up. Used truck prices sky high payment, and little or no warranty left. That is the problem. And so if you're paying $60,000 for a $30,000 truck, and then you're going to add a $10,000 warranty on that, now you're paying $70,000 on a truck that's worth $30,000. And so if it gets totaled, that's going to be an issue, or you're going to be upside down in that truck for a long time. And so you have no choice but to stay under that truck or just leave. And that's look, I predict that next year, people ask me my predictions. One of them is there's going to be a lot of repossessions of bad equipment next year. Does your son have to wear a face mask in the school? No, because he's not in school anymore. Looking for a farm that's doing grass-fed finished beef local to me. They're out there. Find the local farmers market and get some business cards. That's what I've done. Pre-season scouting for last year's shed, antlers, new scrapes. Yep. How soon do they tie the jab to the med cart? I don't think that'll happen, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to be all like, that'll never happen. No, I'm not doing that. But the minute that happens, there's going to be a lot more people leaving the industry that are, if you're in a good place, that's not gonna, that's you'll just leave, right? Find other ways. I agree, Dave. I know, Thomas Wilson. Jeff was live earlier. $60,000 trucks are listed at 90 or 100 right now. It's nuts. Basically, no new trucks available as well. Yeah. Yep. That's the part I worry about. And that's why it's important not to have any debt, because I know somebody that's sitting on a truck that's no good to them right now, and they still owe on it. So it's look, it's going to be a different live feed, but there's so many things I see coming down the line. Look, I've gotten burned out on YouTube with all the doom and gloom. Between the doom and gloom and the drama, it's just, I've been watching different stuff here lately. And these YouTube channels become echo chambers. And we're all spouting the same issues that we've been dealing with and the things that are coming down the line. And the next 2 years is going to really test everything. I said that a year ago. I said that it's going to test you financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. And I still hold to that. And there's so many micro things going on that there's not a solution in sight for. And so therefore it can only go wrong. It can only get worse. There's not an aspect that's going to make everything better. Electric trucks are not going to save everything. Electric trucks are going to force guys that use diesel out of the business because diesel will be too high. Insurance rates, repossession rates, interest rates are all going to go up. And so if you're sitting on a bunch of equipment, but you're debt free, you're in a good spot. And so you can weather most of the storms that are going to come at you. And then have a contingency plan, you know, what to do if you do lose your equipment. And, or what are you willing to put up with? Are you willing to put 20 grand into a truck that you may or may not keep, you know? Are you willing, but you don't want to throw $100,000 at a $10,000 problem either. And so that's why I keep this truck. Because a year and a half ago, I could have bought a brand new Volvo 860 for $145,000. Now you got 500,000 mile trucks at $100,000. That blows my mind. I can't even like begin to let you know how much that just blows me away. And it's bad enough that costs are so high now. Can you imagine dealing with what TK's doing? But if he had I think your truck's paid off by now, right, TK? And there's so much stacked against the little guy. Not the little guy trucker, but the small carrier. There's so much against the independent owner operator, even though we make a majority of this industry. Money talks, BS walks into today's society. Yep. Yes, paid off. Good deal. 2 year, $250,000. They sold the truck out from under me that had a deposit on because they got offered $10,000 more. I had a new truck order. It's all screwed up now. Yeah, and TK's trying to do the right thing. He wants to replace his truck. But the new orders are all screwed up. If you have capital next year, if a person has capital next year, you'll be able to capitalize on some of this equipment, but let's just say January 1st is going to be a very interesting time after January. I agree, this business is getting too expensive and to grow is costing a lot of zeros. I have a chance to grow, but the cost is so high it makes me look twice. And the quality of drivers has gone the crap as well. And you're going to have a lot more equipment failures because people aren't going to be able to afford to maintain their high mileage trucks. And so the DOT's getting onto that. DOT knows that there's shortages. DOT knows that guys are skipping out on doing some maintenance because it's just either too costly or they don't have the stuff available. And so they're really ragging on the equipment. You know, back in the day, the DOT got revenue through your logs and then a little bit on your equipment. Now it's all about the equipment. You know, they just look at your clock and say, okay, you're good. Unless there's no red marks, you're good to go. But the equipment, you know, they're going to find that one airline that was cracked because it was the last one you haven't changed out yet because you're waiting until you got home. That kind of thing, you know. And then, you know, the more out of services you get, the less brokers want to work with you. You end up losing the ability to use some brokers. And then your insurance goes sky high. So now, see, it compounds. So now you got a $100,000 truck that's got 800,000 miles on it, 600,000 miles on it, that just put you out of service, and it raised your insurance by $5,000. And now certain brokers won't work with you. Do you see how many cards are stacked against you? So it's becoming tougher and tougher for new people coming into the industry, and then they're wondering why there's a shortage. They wonder why there's a retention problem. If I'm a company driver and my guy that I'm signed on to, or signed on to, but working for, can't keep his truck maintained because he's too much in the hole. That puts me out of work, right? So there's just so many. There's just so many things you got to think about. It's not just grab a truck, grab a trailer, call a broker, and boom, you're making 10 grand a week. It doesn't work like that. Anyone want to buy a 2016 Freightliner for $75,000? The price of trucks and fuel right now, along with the upturn in freight rates, could be a killer next year when it all goes back to normal. What do you do when you can't get a part for 90 days? Shadow Wolf, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. You picked a hell of a time to get in this industry, LOL. Hound Dog, look, I'm not here to discourage anybody. I'm just telling you the things that I see in my, Shadow Wolf's been driving since, I think, for longer I've been alive. And I say that kindly, Shadow Wolf. I'm just giving you hell. But Shadow Wolf's been out here a minute. I've only been out here 12 years. And I see things, the observations I make, I see things coming down the line. Consistency is key to being successful in anything, whether you're trading stocks, whether you're trading crypto, whether you're driving a truck, selling things in a brick and mortar store. You have to have consistency. My opinion, okay? Just my opinion. That consistency is getting harder and harder because the freight's not consistent, the market's not consistent, and now you can buy a new truck and it won't even be consistently good for you. Like you think you buy a truck and you're going to have a year's worth of at least, no issues. But I know people that spend an average of $12,000 to $15,000 a year on trucks with warranties. But it's the downtime that kills them, because now you got a $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 truck payment, and you're down for 90 days, like Shadow Wolf mentioned. And I'm already losing profit due to fuel, and that's why it's very important to track your numbers. I don't care if you do it on pen and paper. You need to track every single thing, because you have to know where you're going to be able to trim the fat when it comes time to trim the fat. Hey, you know what? I'm spending $40 in streaming things that I don't really even watch. I think I'll shave that off. If I put everything on a credit card and I'm spending $500 in interest rates every month, that's why debt will kill you. Because will kill your business, because that alone, the interest alone, will eat up all your profits. And I've been guilty of that. And I just got rid of all my debt because it was costing me way too much. People use I'm going to use a home equity loan. No, I don't recommend that either. Unless you know how to manipulate numbers. I ordered in April, February build date. A few weeks ago, Peterbilt canceled all orders made after February 1st. Have to reorder looking at beginning of 23 before I can get a truck built. Insane. The only consistency is change. Yes, that is true. Shannon, thank you. I appreciate that. But right now is not the time to buy new, nor is it the right time to come into this industry, become independent. Wait it out. For those here, save what you can now. Bad times are coming. And Shadow Wolf, you're absolutely right. Now, Shadow Wolf's got a big carrier. that he drives for. He is an independent contractor. He does very well what he does, but he's been out here a minute and he sees the same things that I do coming down the line, coming down the pipe, as some YouTubers might say. And I know a driver with a 2021 Peterbilt 389, and it's got to be rough, because you have the high payment and the DEF system and the bad fuel mileage. And with fuel going up, look, if you can make it work, awesome. But fuel is definitely the number one cost in this industry for an independent. I'm looking at selling my 2016 because of these prices. Chucky, look, that's what I would do, because even if you had to use it as a backup truck, you don't know if you can even fix it. So I would cash out on that truck and just bank that money. I would just put it all away. So if the current truck goes down, you can ride it out. And you've got the little bit of the umbrella with Schneider too, so that helps a lot. But that's what I would do. Or if it gives you enough to pay off the other truck, that will be huge for you. TK, that same truck was worth only... Look, I had an assessment done on mine, and the dealership only wanted to give me 13 grand for this truck. And that was like 50,000 miles ago. And there's no way I would do that, right? I'm not... Yeah. So to get 40 for it, that would be a good deal. But you don't have another truck to get into, right? If not paid off, get really close to it, right? And dude, to have a 2021 truck paid off, man, I wish I could do that. I guess I could if I applied myself, but I don't know. Then they'd sell. Jesse, I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's someone in our circle. They traded their 680, just like mine, just like TK's. We got 28,000 for it at the Volvo dealership in trade-in, and then they had an ad for it for 28,000. You got a good deal. You got a good truck. You got a good truck at Volvo, and it's been good for them. So I pull for a major carrier that has freight, and will have the same when it goes south. Independents, be prepared. This industry repeats itself. There you go. I have to wait until maybe September, October for 2 trucks, but the price might be even higher by then. So I'm probably going to stay with the 2 that I have and see. Jeremy Griggs, what's up? And look, I've had to eliminate a lot of YouTube because it's just, you can only hear that the world is ending so many times. And my intention is not to bring you down. I just want you to be aware that I don't like how the wind is changing. I don't like the clouds on the horizon. Shadow Wolf just said the same thing. If you don't take my word for it, take his word for it. The guy that's starting off today is having a better freight market than I did when I started, but your costs are almost double of what they were when I started. That's tough. And when you look at the numbers at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Now I have a lot of freedom, pretty much do what I want within reason, but at the same time, I'm not feeding my family with this. You know, I'm paying my bills, but I'm not like, it's not like my wife can retire, and nor would I want to rely my whole family on this truck, or any truck for that matter. I know people that do it, but you know, there's a lot of stress involved with that. And you know, at the end of the day, it's about being happy. It's about enjoying life. And what good's all the money if you don't have contentment? You know what I mean? Let's turn this APU off. Freshen up the coffee. I've been drinking it kind of slower today. I've been talking too much. You're not bringing it down. It's what it is. That's why I invest elsewhere, not just trucking. Silos, I have a friend that listened to Jeff. He bought 2 internationals. They've almost broke them. Don Shonger, I'm late to the conversation, but what I hear, you should buy some coins and hopefully everything will be all right. Look, I don't doubt that people are making money off that Shiba stuff. And that's great. I haven't done very well in the stock market. I've done okay, but I've lost a little bit too. But I don't know if it's a fake headline or what, but are they actually considering that, like, if you lose $4,000 in the stock market that you really didn't lose, that they want to tax that as well? Is that true? We won't get into that. So yeah, all these guys making huge profits on the coins, you know, all that money is going to be ate up in taxes. I'd say for the freedom, it's worth it. And Silos, that's where I'm at, right? But at the same time, if I can find other investments that would profit as much, if not a little bit more, and I could be home to have that same freedom, I think that's the direction I would like to head. You know, Jeff becomes big enough, I'll have to get out of the truck. But then I'm completely reliant on him, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I want to work for him, don't get me wrong, but I don't want that to be my only income. And so there's been some opportunities presented to me, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't have any intention of getting out of the truck right now. I still like trucking, guys. I mean, I'm not like, you know, if anything, what makes trucking kind of lame is the shippers, receivers, and people. give me a lonely road to drive on, I'm good to go, right? But you know, it's getting more dangerous out here. People are more unstable. Mental health is the true epidemic right now. Not saying that there's not a pandemic, but mental health is a close second. And you see it. People are more aggressive. People are quick to fly off the handle. Instead of pushing a person at the fuel island, now they're shooting at each other. You know, if you don't move your truck in a manner, you know, you got people easier to just, you know. Hell, I was on Facebook. Even Christian Trucker said he almost got in a fight. I mean, how do you make that dude mad, right? I mean, it's I don't know. I hate to sound like an old guy, and Shadow Wolf, maybe you agree with me, but it's not as fun. It just isn't as fun. So it's hard to retain that passion for it. Gotta go. My load canceled going to California, so I have to find another one. Have a great day. I'm seeing a lot more load cancellations, John, so good luck. In fact, I can trade my truck in for a new one for more than it's worth, but then I would have a new one that costs more than it's worth. I know, I've checked 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, that is absolutely true. I'm old school. I've just have someone invest for me. They are the experts and college educated, done quite well the last 20 years. And look, Thomas, I admire you. I admire you because you have done things right. When it comes to money, when you came into this business, and I'm glad to call you a friend because you seem to have a lot of things figured out. Future gains, right? You want to kill the economy with a nuclear bomb. There it is, right there. There's too many gazillionaires that would probably go against that, so I don't think that would ever pass. Zero respect. Look, there's zero respect all the way around, not just the fuel islands. It's the me generation. Okay, so fighting that brings a good point. Four-wheelers are off the charts bad, worse than I've seen in 20 years OTR. I'm telling you, man, when for a quick minute we enjoyed going through Atlanta and Dallas during the demic because no one was out. But the ones that were out, they were driving more aggressive. You know, speeding went up, car fatalities went up, aggressive driving went up, all that stuff went up. Because they knew the cops weren't out there patrolling. They knew that they weren't going to pull them over. Right? And there was less cops working. And especially when the Floyd thing went off, there was even less cops pulling people over. So people became more aggressive. And then now you've added the population back into the mix, and now you've got that aggressive driving all the way around. And so everybody's mentally unstable. Everybody's driving like crazy. Not just idiots, crazy. And you know, and don't believe me, there's plenty of dash cam videos that will tell you otherwise. You got one for the fuel line? Want to hear it? Sure, Shadow Wolf. I don't have that StreamYard thing, so I have to type it all. Like, you know, there was that pilot in Pacific. There was a shooting there, and man, it's always irritable there because the way that fuel island's set up, you have to go down these long flight of stairs to go get your receipt or whatever you want. So a lot of people park there and they stay there because they don't want to walk up the big hill to where the regular parking is. Now, I'm almost more understanding of that because a lot of guys can barely get out of the truck and walk across the, you know, to the back of their truck because they're so, you know, they're not very healthy, right? But when you have a truck stop where there's literally 500 spaces in front of the fuel island, there's no excuse, right? And that seems to be more and more. And look, I'm not the guy that's going to blast somebody on video about the fuel island, but, you know, there's just no etiquette anymore. You know, you got companies putting any meat in the seat that aren't driving safely. Accidents are up. Out of services are up. And a lot of these people, like, I can't tell you. One of the places I pick up loads at a lot is automated on the checkout system. You go to this iPad and you type everything you need. And there's been a couple of times where I've had to help because they couldn't read it. I had to help them because they couldn't read it. And so, how do you read signs? That's like me going to drive a truck in Japan. I wouldn't know what the hell I was doing, right? So, it's I don't know. Definitely a storm, right? I feel like the general public is trying to kill me most days. You ever have one of those days where you think you got a big magnet on the left side of your truck, and because everybody keeps coming over in your lane, especially at the big cities and highways around them, you can see how the people turned into crazy drivers the last few years. It wasn't perfect before either, but population is raising and anger is too. Speed just killed a driver in Indy. I had a friend that just went through Indy a couple hours ago. He told me to go live, so, you know, sad but true. Anyways, so let's talk about gratitude. What are the things I am grateful for? I'm grateful to have my truck and trailer. I'm grateful to be able to book my loads. It is a good market as far as rates go. And people are already griping about rates. I'm like, really? That blows me away. And I'm still able to have the freedom to do what I need to do. So. Steve, you need to trade that shirt in for a light truck and dress shirt. Well, I don't have any, so. I'm very casual, Thomas Wilson. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. Okay, buy a bunch of padlocks. When the driver in front of you sits there forever and don't move off the fuel line, pop a lock on his wagon and move on. Yeah, that's safer than, you know, I know guys that have pulled pins or cut airlines. Or you don't even have to have padlocks. Just buy those bolt seals. Those will probably be cheaper. We gotta dress you up with, like me, boots though. Boots too. I'm all about the boots, man. I got boots sitting in the back right now. It's actually. Hey, we don't need armed escorts or convoys yet. That's the operative word. Look, watch your fuel. Fuel gets up pretty high, man. There's going to be a lot of fuel stealing going on. That's going to happen. I've seen it. I started driving in 2008 when that crisis was going on. If there's true shortages that start to happen, you're going to be a target. Yes, Dave, I agree. My shirt should be standard at Like Trucking. Mad Max Fury Road collision course, right? I have a tool that I use for bolt seals because I was doing a steady amount of loads with bolt seals. So I bought like, well, it's not within reach, but it's like basically electric bolt cutters, and that will cut anything. So yeah, bolt seals. You can just buy a bolt seal and just click and then walk off. Polo embroidered shirt. And black like trucking hay. Pam, what's up? Thomas, I've been trying to get a Like Trucking hat for, I don't know, 4 years now. Oh, by the way, I'm on load 501 for Like Trucking, so there's that. It's probably kind of low, though. As a flatbedder, I have several tools to help protect myself. Yes, you do, Jess. Jesse, you're flatbedder now? thought you were running reefer. Jess, you're all over the place. Unless I'm thinking of somebody else. Give me a Born. I'll wear a Born hat. Look, look. Well, White has sent me 2 of these. It's funny. I got one for the house and one for the truck. So when it gets that white crustiness because you sweat all the time, I just like. But yeah, it's got that leather thing, and then the best hat I have is the one that Shadow Wolf gave me. That is actually sitting up there, all nice and protected. I've got like no joke, not exaggeration. I got like 15 hats in this truck. It's kind of stupid, really. I've got issues. I have issues. I don't know if you guys realize that. I might seem calm and cool, but I have issues. I'm like loopy sometimes. Always been open deck. I think you've confused me with someone else again. Probably Jesse. I'm sorry. I'll send you a red and black hat. I love red and black. Those are my favorite colors. If I had to custom paint, get a truck custom colored, it would be black with red trim. That's how I've always been. Even when I was a kid going through my BMX phase, I wanted a black and red bike. I did have a black and red bike, you know, because back then, you know, the parts for the bikes, you can get them painted and all that, and that's what I would do. Having the name Like makes them the most ironic YouTuber. It's funny. Sometimes security guard, you know, because of our logo, it looks like I like trucking, right? So every now and then a security guard will write it down. I like trucking, and then they'll look at me like, "Dude, do you really like trucking?" Like, haha, funny. Jeff, start over now. It's your issue just having too many hats is all acceptable. If your only issue is having too many hats, it's all acceptable in my book. I have. You guys think I'm joking? Here we go. We got Thunder Funding. We got Hall Hound. We have which that's the one I wear. It's really light. That's the one when I do the hat cam thing. I've got Green Miles from Shane Ferris. I have Asian Mai, Mother Trucker. I have a cat scale hat, which was my favorite hat at one time. I have Tough Tested. I have, you Chevy guys will love this, I have a Ford hat. That's Pale Rider's favorite hat, which I haven't seen Pale Rider in a while. I have my Transland hat, TCSI. That's an old school. I have my Schneider hat, which is all crusty, and I should probably just throw that away. I have my Snorelord custom hat that's all crusty. Doomytunestransport, but it says Snorelord on it. I have that. That probably needs to be thrown away. I have a newer Transland hat, which is all crusty. I should probably throw that away. And Peterbilt, back when I was on the dark side. So, and then the Shadow Wolf hat is up there protected. You know, I'm just gonna throw a couple of these away right now. Doink. Should I throw away the Ford hat? I'm gonna keep that just to annoy everybody. I'll keep Transland, I'll throw that out. Schneider, I'll throw that out. The Schneider hat was cool. It had like the barbed wire thing. But yeah, I sweat too much. Let's see. Should I throw away my Snorelord hat? No. Alright. Tough Tested. That's from the Great American Truck Show. And a lot of these were, I mean, I think the Snorelord hat and the Schneider hat are the only ones I paid for. But, I don't know, why would you pay for a Schneider hat? Let's see. My cat scale, I got this for free. This is a nice hat. I like this one. So we'll keep that one. Asian Mai, we'll keep that one. Green Miles, we'll keep that one. And Pilot, we'll keep that one because that's the one I use for filming. And then, should I keep the Thunder Funding hat, Jeff? I'll keep it. This is a great, it covers up my ELD when I'm parked. So, but no like trucking hat. And then I've got my Oida hat. I do have my Shadow Wolf. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, God, I found 5 more hats. All right, Shadow Wolf. Here you go. There it is. There's the Shadow Wolf hat with the bullet. I'll wear it. I'll wear it right now. There we go. Got the Shadow Wolf hat. I got a Tex Crowley hat. See, the more important hats were tucked in, right? I got a free TA hat. I've got that. I haven't even taken the cardboard out of that one. Check that out. Now, this bums me out. This is the Comdata hat. Why would you have a hat from a company that literally nickels and dimes you to no profit? Well, because at one time, that bill, that lit, oh, it wants to light up. It would light up. Now, I remember at Matt's, I saw these, I'm like, the whole group that I was walking with at Matt's, we went specifically out of the way to get these hats. And as you can see, the batteries have died. And I don't know if you can even replace them. Oh, I guess you could. So I might keep that, because that was kind of neat. If you are a tanker and want to find a good company, Opie's. They're at Eldon, Missouri. This is one of my favorite hats. And then, see, I told you guys I wasn't kidding about the hat collection. And then I've got Oida, old school. And then I got this DPF Regeneration hat. Remember when they did the 73 Lounge or whatever, and all that drama was around them about the owner's daughter and all this crap? So I'll probably throw that one away. So yeah, I've literally just threw away like 8 hats, but no like trucking hat at all. No, I don't have a new Shadow Wolf hat yet. I need a Triple T hat. Triple T doesn't like me, so I doubt it'll give me a hat. Hell yeah, I wear hats to annoy people too. I knew I loved Brandon. So I do have a hat collection, just no like trucking hats. But in Jeff's defense, they are expensive to make. I looked into making apnea hats at one time, and yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not charging somebody $30 for a hat just to make $1 margin. So I get it. I get it. So, but it's nice to make fun of Jeff at times because he deserves it, right? But anyways, guys, I got to use the restroom, and unlike some people, I don't do that online. I got to get into work mode. I got to time things just right so I can get this delivery done at the end of the day today or tomorrow morning. I appreciate everybody that comes in. I appreciate the members. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate all of yous. And we're not all about the doom and gloom here. I just want to point out that there's a storm coming and you need to be prepared, right? Because things are there's definitely some challenges happening that you're gonna have to face. And you know what? Challenges makes us stronger. A bad market makes us stronger. A good market should make you stronger. Through struggle, we'll become strong. So with that being said, thanks for watching. And that's it. So, peace out.